Mr. President, I would move now to proceed to calendar number 414, S3454, the Department of Defense authorization. And I have a cloture motion at the desk.
The clerk will report the motion. The Senator from Arizona.
I reserve the right to object.
Can't object.
And I will object.
To the reading?
There's no objection in order at this point.
There is no objection in order at this point.
Clerk will report the motion.
The clerk will report the motion.
Cloture motion. Will the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, hereby move to bring to a close the debate on the motion to proceed to calendar 414 S3454, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2011.
I also ask unanimous consent that the vote on the motion about cloture occur at 2:15 p.m. Tuesday, this September 21st, and that on that date the Senate resume consideration of the motion to proceed.
This is a transparent attempt to win an election. What troubles me is how far off course we've gotten over the past 2 years. Under this majority leader and this chairman, we have witnessed the unfortunate and growing politicization of the National Defense Authorization Act. So last year, it was legislation on hate crimes.
In terms of hate crimes amendments, the last year when we adopted this was not the first time that we adopted it on the Defense Authorization Bill. We adopted, or at least considered and adopted in some cases, hate crimes amendments in the FY 2001 Defense Authorization Bill, the 2005 Authorization Bill, the 2008 Authorization Bill. I didn't hear my friend at that time make suggestions that somehow or other the committee had lost its way in terms of bipartisanship.
Now, I'm not saying this is not an important issue or an issue that the Senate should not have taken up and debated in due time. But hate crimes legislation has nothing to do with our national defense. Of course, the majority, the committee chairman, will always get creative on how it interprets, quote, national defense.
And to suggest, as my friend from Arizona has, that somehow or other, last year, for the first time, we adopted a non-relevant amendment when we adopted hate crimes is not accurate, because we've adopted that very amendment on this very bill 2 or 3 times before that, which says doesn't even get to the point of all these other amendments which have been adopted, not just on the Defense Authorization Bill, but on other bills which do not relate to the bill on the floor.
Things are only getting worse this year. We learned on Monday that before we go home for this election cycle, there will be no debate at all on the Defense Authorization Bill, except for what we are told. The majority leader just said he hadn't decided, but we're told that there will be no debate at all on the Defense Authorization Bill except for 3 amendments handpicked by the majority leader for narrow political reasons 2 months before an election.
Now, the majority leader has just a few minutes ago said that there's not going to be an effort to limit the consideration of just 3 amendments if cloture is invoked. In fact, he's hopeful, and so am I, that numbers of many amendments can be considered before the recess. I'd like to finish the bill before the recess if we could. I'd like to get time agreements. As a matter of fact, before this last recess, I asked unanimous consent that we move to this bill. I didn't put conditions on it. I just said unanimous consent that we move to the bill, and couldn't even get consent to do that.